Hello, thank you for joining RasPiPkr tutorials. I'm Martin Parker, and in this video I'm just going to be going over some testing that I did last night on my Pi5 in the Pimoroni NVMe case. I've had some questions recently, so I thought I would address them, asking about temperature, power usage, etc. So I currently use my Raspberry Pi 5 using a Waveshare PoE hat because for some reason Raspberry Pi haven't released their Pi 5 PoE hat yet, so I'm having to use a Waveshare one, but it works perfectly fine. I'm happy with it. I've got a 256 gig NVMe on the Pimoroni NVMe base that's in the bottom of the case. I'll bring up some pictures and showing some of the equipment. So this is the NVMe base that's in the bottom of the case. So I've got a 256 2280 SSD NVMe drive in there, and it works very well. I'm currently screen capturing on this and recording. In the room that I was doing it in, the temperature tended to stay around 19 degrees, so that was the ambient temperature. This is the power brick that I was using. This is from Amazon. It's a 65 watt Type C USB-C power delivery power bank, power brick, sorry. It's nothing special, £15–20 or so off of Amazon. It works a treat. This is also from Amazon. This is a HD TV HDMI to USB 3 capturing device. You can see the blue tab there to prove that it is USB 3, and the HDMI full size socket, and plugged into that I have this. Well, I don't think it works as 4K, but it's labelled as. This is from Amazon as well. It's basically a USB-C that plugs into the bottom of my phone, gives me HDMI output to a TV, or like I've had it connected to my capture device into my Pi. This is the case that we're talking about. So currently I do not have this lid on top because I have a PoE hat Waveshare attached on top, so I can't have this on, but I've done testing with the PoE hat, without the hat, using a power brick, as I've just shown, and having the lid on using the power brick. So I've done 3 lots of testing, and these are my results. With the Pi 5 topless, so that's with the power brick, our idle temperature was 44. That was the minimum temperature that I experienced. I didn't have any means of capturing the watts at that point. I could have done on my phone because I could have used the app. That was my mistake. But when I plugged my phone in, it took it up slightly, and there's the wattage. So I suspect it's roughly about 6.5–7 watts. If I hadn't have had the capture device plugged in, and then I've done 12 tests. I put the Raspberry Pi 5 in a stress test for 10 minutes, and these are the temperatures and the wattage that I was pulling according to my spark plug that I was powering the power brick with. The maximum temperature I got was 62. Most wattage I was pulling was 12.1 watts. And that was the lowest reading that I actually tested with, but like I say, I reckon it's about 6.5 watts ish. If I hadn't had that USB device plugged in. And then I've done the test with the case, which is this grey area here. It only just slightly went up slightly because of the temperature in idle. Same again, I could have checked, but I didn't. But I didn't. So there you go. Temperature did slightly increase, just like it did previously with my capturing device, and the wattage is about the same as you'd expect, really. And the temperatures, yeah, did increase a bit. Minimum temperature that I found with the case was 45 degrees, 66. So there's a 4-degree increase when I'm stressing out the computer, and it's only 0.3 of a watt more usage, probably because the fan was probably that little bit harder blowing. And then when I've got my Pi5 with its PoE waveshare hat on, these are readings that I took according to my switch that I have, because I've got two 8-way Netgear switches which are PoE compatible on all 8 ports on both of them, and I can see these readings according to my when I'm logged into the switch. So the minimum temperature was 46, like I experienced before I started doing my recording. 5.7 watts. That was the minimum sort of range I spotted, but it tended to vary. It was there about 6 to 6.3, so yeah, like I say, about 6 or so for the 2 readings here, which is probably what I'd expect. I didn't do the capturing with my phone, so these 2 are like so. And then wattage, most I found was 10.1 watts using the PoE hat, and the temperatures only went up to 63, so it's only 1 more degree, because it's half covered is the fan of the official cooling for the Raspberry Pi 5. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with these readings. I didn't experience any throttling. The highest temperature that I did see whilst it was doing the testing, I only took these readings at the time scale of how many minutes in I was. The maximum I saw in between was 68, but yeah, it was only briefly there. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that went on. Next picture, back to there. And if you're curious on how I have it, so this is my Raspberry Pi 5 with its PoE hat. So I've just got my HDMI out, PoE from my switch into the Pi with the hat on top. I've got a microphone which I'm talking to you now on, and that is my official keyboard, and I've got a wireless mouse plugged into the back of the keyboard, because it's a little USB hub as well. So these are the pins that stick up too high. As you can see, the case is there, and this just sits just slightly higher than the case. If it could fit inside, that would be brilliant, but I'm not bothered. It doesn't bother me. So that's that. And when I was doing some testing, this is what I was getting. So there, me taking my screenshots of my whole screen. That's the stress test command I used for all 4 cores for 600 seconds, 10 minutes, and that is the that's my Pi 5. These 2 are Pi 4s. That's a Pi 3 that I've got connected to my network. Just in case you're curious, when I have my Pi 5 over PoE, and it's turned off, so it's got a little red light on it. I'm pulling 2.9 watts, just so you know, whilst the Pi is in idle. That's what it's pulling. Yeah, so that's what I was doing with my PoE. So there's the other tests, just screenshots. Topless, this is the Pi5 with the official cooler. As you can see, I've took the PoE extenders off of the pins. That is my HD capturing device into the USB 3 port. The microphone in the bottom, the keyboard, PoE, it doesn't matter, it's just working as an Ethernet connection. Power coming in from my brick and HDMI, and one of them will go with that one. So same again, screen capturing, testing in 8 minutes. There's the timer on my phone, temperature's there, CPU's at 100%, 12.1 watts, ampage, there's my voltage to my main socket. This is a Status Smart app, I believe, if I remember rightly, on my phone, which works with the smart plug. So yeah, that's that. And if I come out of there and then I go to the case, the whole reason why I'm doing this video, and there it is with the case lid on top. I didn't pop the screws in, simply because I couldn't find them, but with these ports being in place, it didn't move, it didn't want to move. So I've got my Ethernet connected, my power, my HDMI, my capture device, keyboard, and my microphone underneath. So yeah, that's the testing of that, and we'll go with this is just after it's done its testing. So I've done my 10 minutes, I'm in my 11th minute. I clicked it slightly before. Oh, look at that, 5 milliseconds too quick, hundredths. Yeah, so it had quickly gone back down to there in that 1 minute, and the temperature's dropped back down to a good rate. Wrong button, that one. 10 minutes. So yeah, 12.4 watts. It's been going 10 minutes, still at 100%, 65 degrees. Yeah, I mean, having that metal case, it doesn't work as a heat sink. It might do, I guess, for the NVMe base, because the base pretty much attaches to the bottom of the case, but you wouldn't expect any heat really being there. The main heat is going to be from your Pi, but yeah, it doesn't really cause any effect. There's plenty of airflow in the case. You've got these top holes, there is holes on this side. I think there's 1 or 2 holes at this side here as well. But yeah, it's a brilliant case. It's a great case. It's just a shame that I have to take the lid off for the PoE hat. So there you go. Done some testing. I hope you're happy with the results, and any other questions, give me a shout. Thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one.